So I decided to add more videos to this long week. I had the Born to do, and then so I was like, you know what? I really want to review the first two movies leading up to the third movie coming out tonight, which I will be seeing either tonight or tomorrow. So let's go ahead and get started with a franchise that I never liked until this movie, Star Trek. From director J.J. Abrams, he brought in 2009 a movie. When I first saw it, I saw trailers and commercials for it coming out. I was like, I'm not a big Star Trek fan, I'm not really into it, and then like years ago, like 2011 actually, before the second one was like announced and they were filming and all, I was like, you know, I'm gonna watch the first one, and I loved it. Like, I really like the first Star Trek movie. This is a good movie. There is a lot of fun, it's got really good directing, and interesting fact, this is the second film directed by J.J. Abrams. Second. The first one is Mission Impossible 3. This is his second movie. And so what do I think about this movie? I think this is a really, really fun movie. It's a great reboot. It is a reboot. It is not a remake, and we'll get that into a minute. So basically the story is Chris Pine, he is James Kirk. He is going to be the Captain Enterprise if you don't know this. But in this movie at first, he's a drunk, he's a likable guy, he has sex with aliens, and then he's going to go and join the Enterprise, he's going to go join the crew, and he can't really join it. You know why? Because he's not really the smartest guy. Like, he's smart, but he does it in his own way, he does it in his own style, and Spock, who he does not, Spock and Captain Kirk, they hate each other throughout this movie. They really do. They do not like each other. Spock is almost jealous of him, and Kirk knows he's a smart dude, but Spock is Spock. Spock is part human and part something, I forget his brand of alien. And so after something happens with Eric Bana, who is the main villain, something happens to Spock's planet, and so now they're going after this guy, and there's a big battle, and they're trying to save each planet, and it's going to go back to Earth, and he's going to destroy it, and so they got to save it and destroy this guy, and we get to introduce all these characters, and it's just one big fun movie. First off, J.J. Abrams, perfect. And this is the movie where you actually got to see lens flares. Lens flares are all throughout this movie, but all I have to say is it works. It works with the style of the film. This movie is so, like, refreshing. If you've ever seen the originals, which I have, this movie feels so refreshing. It feels like a general audience movie today. Like, everyone's good. Chris Pine as Captain Kirk, perfect. I actually really like Chris Pine in this role. Like, Chris Pine is such a likable guy. He's kind of like Ryan Reynolds. He can't get the right franchise until he does, like, either Deadpool, and that's Ryan Reynolds. But Chris Pine does Star Trek. He does good. See, he's getting this franchise, and so far, he's awesome. He's awesomeness. Zachary Quinto, who almost looks like Eli Roth to me, he's awesome as Spock. Like, I mean, he is perfect as Spock. Zoe Saldana is really good. She has a small role in this movie, in my opinion, but she is really good in it. Eric Bana as the main villain. He's a very cliche villain. That's only like my one issue with this movie. Like, two issues, but this is one of the issues. Eric Bana's just so cliche villain, whatever. But he's good in it. But he's kind of a cliche villain, and he does villainous stuff pretty much. Everyone does good. Carl Urban as Bones is so good in this movie. I love Carl Urban as Bones. He is perfect at it. Simon Pegg's not in the movie a lot until like the third act, but he's really good. When he comes in the movie, Simon Pegg, he just makes me smile. Simon Pegg is just like, every time I see him, I smile because he's a good actor. Anton Yelchin is really good as Chekhov. John Chu is really good in this movie. Everyone is really good. No, this was literally the perfect casting. All around, overall, this movie is so much fun. It's just, the story's good, the action's really good, it's intense, it's exciting, you care about the characters. But my one big issue, and I will not spoil what happens in the scene, but I'm going to call it the reboot scene. The scene where it explains, like, this movie's not a remake, it's a reboot. An old actor is a character, and he comes back in this movie, and Chris Pine and Captain Kirk, he meets this character, and that whole 5 minutes, it felt like a reboot. It felt like they were like, okay, fans, this is not a remake, this is a reboot, see? This is why it's a reboot. And it just felt like a whole, like, scene, like, oh, so it is a reboot. That's my only big issue. It's the reboot scene, I call it. Actually, it's so, like, to me, unnecessary. It really hauls the movie and explains, okay, this is a reboot, not a remake. So anyways, overall, I really like this movie. It's a good movie. Every time it comes on, I can sit down and watch at least 20 minutes or something. And if I'm really busy, I'll just watch it. But if I'm not, I'll sit down and I'll watch it because this movie is so watchable. So that's why I'm going to give it a really low A. I think it is a good movie. I definitely recommend it. It is my favorite Star Trek because I'm not a huge Star Trek fan. I'm not. So this movie actually made me like Star Trek and go back and watch the originals. So anyway guys, enjoy this review and I will see you guys next time. Bye guys!